Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to DIY Life, Mount Tammany Ridge. Just finally got some time to do some things needed around here this weekend. We're gonna have a couple different things possibly going on. All depends on how much we can get done each day before the sun goes down. So a couple new developments, nothing really crazy or anything since the last time I posted a video. I wound up picking up a snow management account for a HOA about maybe 15 minutes from home here, and we picked up a snow pusher. It's a generic brand. It's not a high-end kind of like a Cadillac deal, but it'll get me in there so I can test the toe. Words are hard today. Kind of just test the water a little bit, see if I like it. Of course, I think with some nicer equipment, as far as the snow box, would probably make it easier to like. This one's, like I said, it's kind of bare bones. It's got a metal cutting edge, which I hear a lot of places they actually prefer metal cutting edge because it gets down to the pavement a little better. I tend to think maybe a little too good sometimes, as long as it doesn't end up costing me out of pocket for accidentally peeling up a pothole, like a patch or something like that, or put my head through the front door hitting like a like a water main cap in the road, or like a, what's the word? I guess a manhole cover. Of course, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but yeah. So I'm gonna flip you guys around here, get you a little look at the snow pusher, and it's hooked up to my skid loader at the moment, and I got a couple things I'm actually, small things, very small things I'm going to do with the skid loader. We supposedly have some weather supposed to be coming here Wednesday, like a 1 to 3 inch or a 3 to 5 inch. You know how that is. They just keep going up and down, up and down. Go out and you sit in a parking lot for 8 hours and you get like a dusting. So I don't care as long as I get paid for it, right? So yeah, let me get you guys flipped around here and see if I can change the view. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. I'm gonna be back with you in just a second. I gotta stop this, and then I gotta kind of like restart the phone or something because it's not letting me switch cameras here. So I'll be with you in just a moment. All right, so here we are. That's the setup I'll be rocking and rolling with throughout the winter for snow management, both on and off premises. Of course, the snow pusher will probably not be used very often here because, as you can see, we got a lot of gravel here. I mean, we've got pavement from the road back to the house, but sorry about that, a little too fast. All the way down to the barn and the parking area, and then of course there's a big area down there where the trailers get parked for the boarders to park their trailers and things. So the blade's going to be the implement of choice, even though the blade will still kind of be a little messy as far as displacing gravel, but it's just kind of the name of the game. Unfortunately, if we could afford to have all pavement, we most certainly would. It would make snow management a lot nicer. And of course controlling slippery conditions, but we've been here for probably maybe 23 years or 23 years. I'll stick on that. I might be a little bit of an overreach on my guesstimation there, but so here we are. This is sorry about the glare. Not sure what I can do about that. There we go. This is an 8-foot wide snow pusher. I was gonna go with one that was quite a bit less expensive, about half the price almost, and chose to go with this one because the other one was far more basic than this. This has the replaceable shoes and also the reversible cutting edge and all that. The other one, it was like nothing was replaceable. It was either it was like kind of like a throwaway thing, or I mean, in my case, I have a welder and a plasma cutter and all that. So if I needed to fab up some new skids or anything like that to either modify it to make it better or just kind of patch it back together after the snow season, I could do that. So, and that's kind of one of the things that I do like about these really basic snow pushers is the fact that somebody like me, with minimal welding skills and fabrication skills, we could patch this thing together if we really had to. There's a lot of things that go on with a lot of those really nice snow pushers that are sectional and all that, and I really like them. And I think if I had a big company of my own and I was out there with a bunch of accounts and employees, I most certainly would go that way. But entry level, let's just get it done with this for now, and we'll see where it goes. So what I actually am doing today is something really very small little project. So what I did was I went out and I bought from Truck or Track, actually. I bought this Buyer's backup monitor system. I chose to go with Buyer's largely because this one has the heated camera on it, so it helps keep the lens from freezing over in the cold temperatures while you're in blustery windy evenings and stuff like that. And you know how that goes, things tend to freeze over. And I'll show you the monitor inside once I get done tinkering with this. So what you'll see here, I have a maybe you won't see it. It's in the shadow. So with the kit actually came this, I don't know, I guess it's like an insulator pad. That's what I'm thinking it's for, by 3M, that came with the kit. And it's a little bit of foam. It's probably 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe a little lighter than that. So when I installed this, I apologize. I know I wanted to record the install, but with the storm coming up and this thing coming in the mail, when it did, it was just crunch time was on, and as soon as it came in off the truck, I literally had to flip the cab up and start doing it right away. And of course, time was of the essence because the sun was going down, and just kind of racing the colder temperatures. It was supposed to get down to like 28 that evening, and the sun was going down quick. So I just got it in there, and it was a very simple install, very, very self-explanatory, super easy to do. If anything, it was more difficult to find an easy and safe path for the I guess the coax. I think I call it coax, but it might not actually be considered a coax cable. It's a like a video cable. And I had to find a safe route to go under the cab at the hinge point and then come back alongside the chassis and then drop back down and go across the back of the machine behind the seating area, and then up this side. So I would have much rather had a cleaner way to do it, but at this point, like I said, it was kind of like a little bit of a race. So I'm going to flip this hood up here, and I'm going to get to loosening the bolts, and I'm going to see if I can snip here. You'll see that you might be able to see there's some knockouts right here. I'm going to pop those out, and I'm going to cut out the ends so I can loosen this, lift it up a little bit, and just slide this right under like that, and then tighten it back down. Hopefully this will do what I'm hoping it'll do, because when I installed this and I fired up the engine and started messing with the idle, fluctuating it, and when I was backing up and some vibration from the lugs on the pavement and things like that, there's some sort of vibration issue happening where the screen, the picture on the screen, starts to get a little fuzzy, kind of at the bottom. And once you pick up speed, like if you put it in the second speed on this machine and you go full tilt forward, I said full tilt. Freebie, full tilt, that's a freebie. But yeah, so you know, when I got full speed and I got cranking, and it smoothed out the ride, and the vibration would go away. So I'm going to see if I can try to insulate this a little bit, and we'll just get to it. I'm going to see if I can find a camera angle that'll do any justice for you guys to actually watch me do this. There's a chance I might have to just you know, come back to it after I do it. So let me see what I can do. I'm gonna have to stop this here and get back with you guys in a moment. All right, now when I flip this thing up, it might block a lot of the view for a few moments. It's okay. It's the unexciting and slightly frustrating moments trying to get my hand up underneath this this lid to where these bolts go through the mesh here. So I'll try to keep my language family family friendly. So let's get this going here. Oh, if anything, it was kind of like using Zoom for the boring side of the project, which, not that this project is remotely interesting. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. I'll see that in either the comments or in the how many views I get or how long the views even are. Come on. It's so tight. Ow. That's like a cheese grater on your knuckles, man. Holy shnikes. Yeah, that feels good. Ooh, yeah. That felt great. So while I'm frustrated and trying to keep my cool with this very minimal progress here, when you guys are watching you know, any of my videos, you know, it would be even helpful to me if you made any comments. I mean, you know, good or bad or indifferent, doesn't really matter. You know, it could be anything from, you know, content you'd like to see. I mean, heck, I mean, it could be, you know, even to do with the horses. I mean, I don't know, you know, what all the viewers, you know, are interested in seeing. I mean, I have some involvement in the horse part of the farm. Not nearly as much as, you know, the maintenance and repairs and things like that, but you know, I do some of the horse handling and things like that. And you know, sometimes you know, you'll find me out there trying to chase a horse down for maybe a boarder. You know, sometimes the horses can be a bit finicky when I come by to take them out on the trail, and sometimes it's a two-person operation to get their nose off the ground. So yeah, yeah, don't be afraid to comment and ask questions. Is fine. It does kind of help me, you know, get an idea of maybe what people like to see, don't like to see. I mean, I'm gonna record what I can, when I can. And I mean, I'm probably not going to not post things that whoever might not like a certain thing, but at least I can try to make it a point to try to get some content in there that maybe they would like to see on occasion, at least. I mean, I can't guarantee full you know, full on, you know, attention to one individual and their desires, but I can try at least to kind of fill that blank that they feel I might be leaving. You know, and even you know, advice on you know, equipment stuff. I mean, I'm mechanically inclined, but I am not a legitimate mechanic or a welder by any means. You know, also, you know, I do hot shot for a living. For a very long time, I was primarily regional from the beginning when I started the business, and that was basically to just kind of pay my dues, so to speak. And now with the people, the clients I have, I've been fortunate enough to kind of get staying a little closer to home so that I can be a little bit more involved in the daily things that go on here at the farm. And you know, the rest of the family is getting older, and you know, they're not able to do all the things that they used to and the amount of time that they used to be able to do it in. So there's going to come a point where I got to kind of take over everything. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm doing all kinds of things here. It's kind of one of those things, like right now my frustration is the video editing part. The editing part is not the hard part. I actually enjoy doing that. I used to do that quite a bit in the past, you know, prior to you know, the whole YouTube thing, many years back. But everything being app-based for me is very confusing. I've been out of the loop for so long. I'm so used to everything being hardware, you know, video cards and graphic cards and all this. I'm so used to it being like that. And you know, you take a part out of the computer to upgrade your memory, you know what I mean? You put a bigger piece or a bigger chip in or something, or modify the motherboard or whatever it is you might have to do. But I'm kind of used to that way of things. So now with all this Bluetooth connectivity and, you know, software, and it's just and of course, you know, with everything being 1080p or 4K and, you know, other sorts of resolution, you know, clarity and all that, I mean, it takes up so much memory. I mean, terabyte, 1 terabyte was astonishingly it was really a mind-boggling kind of number back when I was in you know, high school and out of high school. I mean, a terabyte was like, you know, stuff that you would say, wow, the government has you know, government computer systems and, you know, all that stuff. I mean, they were really the only thing that, you know, had access to that, or maybe like a big corporation, massive firm or something. But yeah, so if it was a lot easier for me to to get this content posted on YouTube, I'd probably have quite a bit more content on here for you guys to watch, because like I said, there's always something going on. And like I said, I mean, and when I mean always, I mean, I don't mean any more than any other you know, family homestead type of scenario, you know, from oil changes and, you know, tearing apart the front end of a vehicle to put something as silly in as a light bulb, but for some stupid reason you got to tear the whole front of the Chevy Silverado off just to change a, you know, a high beam bulb or something like that, which is legitimately a thing. So yeah, there's all kinds of things going on here. I mean, if you guys are not interested in seeing some of that stuff, you know, like I said, don't be afraid to show. You know, to be honest with you, I'm kind of addicted to, you know, heavy equipment videos and things like that. So, I mean, I know that's what I like to see. Unfortunately, I can't turn my yard into a quarry. So, you know, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things we can do with the equipment. But of course, you know, with fuel prices the way they are, I can't just keep, you know, an endless supply of diesel fuel on the premises to go, you know, tearing out a bunch of, you'll see back here, we have a bunch of these Atlantis trees. Is that what they're called? I can't remember what they're called. Something like that, Atlantis trees or whatever. And they're all junk trees. They're like overgrown weeds, and with like all kinds of crooked tap roots and stuff. And you know, if you let them get away from you, they will. They absolutely explode, and they're never easy to take down because they grow close together, almost like almost like bamboo shoots, you know. And I say that, you know, it's obviously a little bit of exaggeration, really, but I mean, they grow so close together that you can't go up to it with the excavator or the skid steer and just push on one. You know, they're all somehow intertwined up top, so you got to be really careful with that stuff. You know, you have widow makers all over the place over there, and those trees are super brittle. So, but you know, you're going to be seeing a lot of that. I mean, during the winter time, especially when we have ice storms, we got stuff like that falling down along the property line, knocking down our horse fence. Matter of fact, the one side of the pasture on the back side of the property, we have all tape fence because it just got to the point where, you know, you have really expensive oak planks or even, you know, walmanized planks, you know, and these trees fall down in the wintertime and just shatter everything. So we've gotten to the point where we just threw our hands up in the air and said, you know what, we're just put tape fence up. You know, so, but yeah, you'll see a lot of that stuff. But so I'm gonna stop the rambling for a second. I gotta get these tools put back in the pit of doom behind me. It's completely unorganized, which is another thing I'd like to do, but we're trying to decide whether we want to turn that into an addition to the house or just go full crazy with it and put it there. So when all minds align on the subject, then and only then will that become part of my content. So, and it could be a really cool thing, but we'll see where that goes. So just give me a few minutes here. I'm going to get my hands a little bit freed up with all these tools, and then I'll try not to kill myself getting into this skid steer with this push again, words are hard, this snow pusher, and show you the buyer backup monitor. Nothing special. Actually, matter of fact, I might be able to do something with that too. I might have to take the plexi off the top and put some sort of insulator in there too, because the monitor's got a little bit of a wiggle to it. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Yeah, give me a few minutes. All right, so now that I'm up here, I was gonna turn on the camera and climb up the machine, but that would have made you sick and might have gave me stitches. So I figured I would get you up here and get you set up. So I'm on the top of the skid steer right now, and this little viewing window, I guess you could call it, is no, it's not a sunroof. For any of you viewers that might not be familiar with a lot of these skid loaders and even excavators, you know, when we're handling material or, you know, trying to push trees down or whatever it is, you know, once your loader goes up to a certain height, you can't see it above either the open ROPS, open canopy, you know, with just the rollover protection with the steel roof on it. You can't see what you're doing up there once it gets above a certain point. So, and not all, but most of the equipment that I have run, they have these plexiglass windows or viewing screens where you can look up and see what it is that your loader bucket is doing, or the material in the bucket or forks. So you'll see, I mean, this is just, there's just like a foam tape that goes around here, and then just two screws with, it looks like riv nuts down through the steel here to hold this on. So what I did the other day when I installed this is just the U bracket that comes with the monitor. And before I bought the monitor, I looked at the dimensions of the brackets and stuff, and then I got in here and I measured this grate, I guess the roof, the grate in the roof, to see the spacing of these, to see if that U-shaped bracket would just drop down from above so I could suspend the monitor from this inside. Lo and behold, my hopes were right. However, it does allow it to kind of rock like that. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, enough to let it kind of wiggle forward and backward while you're operating the machine. And it doesn't really bother me so much, but I would like to try to see if I can prevent too much of that, because I think the monitor being exposed to all that jostling around over however many hours might just shorten the life expectancy of the monitor. So I'm gonna try something that literally, while I was in there in the garage, well, I had the camera off, I had kind of like a out of nowhere idea, and I'll show you that in a second. I might have to get something to clean the surface off a little bit better. There's a lot of dust and grime. I want to make sure, not that it really has to stick or anything. I don't even know how well it'll stick, to be honest with you, but so what I got here, and this is literally experimental. I have no idea if this is really going to work. Some of you may already recognize what it is I have in my hand here, but these are tire plugs. You know, I had them for my side-by-side that I used to have. I had that thing all sorts of prepared for, you know, rural breakdowns and flat tires and things. So what I would like to do is see if I can maybe cut this and sandwich it between the actual bracket for the monitor and the metal grate here that goes into the operator's cab. So I don't know, I might, you know, cut them into smaller pieces and just try to put one on each one of these ribs here, and then, you know, hopefully the sun beating down on it through the plexiglass will kind of bake it in there and just make it sticky. Make it just sticky, because it doesn't need to be super tight or anything. I think just that tar on the tire plug just might be the ticket. You know, there's not a lot of room between here and the top of the plexiglass, and because there's only mounting screws here in the plexiglass flexes here. So when I tried kind of hunkering this down with some packaging foam in between this and the plexi, it just lifted it up. So that way when I'm transporting the machine on the trailer in the rain and the snow and things like that, that water was going to be going straight in through here, right underneath the plexi and down into my cab. So that's no good. So certainly not ideal. So I'm going to pause the camera for a moment here, and I'm going to run back in the garage. I got to get something to cut this. I forgot to bring that, and also something to clean up the schmutz underneath this this metal bracket. So I will be with you guys in a moment. All right, got that all cleaned up. Heck, I didn't even know it was all that scratched up. I mean, you'd have to, I guess, assume all the stuff I've put it through, let alone the people that had it before me. I bought this thing used. I don't know, maybe I have to say probably 6 months ago now. No, more than that. No, about a year. Yeah, about a year, because it was around this time last year I did my first side job with it. So yeah, well, time flies. Isn't that crazy? In a year already. So make sure it's not there. Well, looks like we got one of the boarders coming in. What's that?
You know something I don't know?
You know, it's crazy. I've been hearing reports of possibly 3 to 5 inches on Wednesday. So.
Is that new?
Yeah. I actually got it for an account for offsite. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes.
Is that working with the gravel?
Nah, not really.
Probably deep snow, huh?
Yeah, if you have real deep snow, or maybe if you have a really deep freeze, it might not do so bad on this. But it's a heavy snow pusher.
Like for parking lots, right?
Yeah. I have I subcontracted on with a larger contractor.
It's far?
Just Washington.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it's a HOA development over there.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll have to see how it goes.
Good for you.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully it proves lucrative.
Well, good day to be fooling around with that.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of why I was like, nah, I'm not letting this day go by.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna tack her up.
Okie doke.
After I comb out 20 pounds of mud.
All right, see you later. I guess showing you guys the actual monitor. The thing about wiring up this monitor, that anybody who might, go and get one of these things, it was kind of the same deal back in the day when I used to do a lot of stereo installations. You got to be very careful with some of these aftermarket setups, is that you can run your battery down if you're not careful. I don't think the standby light on this monitor will be enough juice, at least with the amount of inactive time in between periods of use. I don't think would be a long enough period of time for that standby light to drain the battery. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'll probably keep my my jump box, my portable jump box with me, and at the ready in the event that something like that does happen. This machine will be coming with me after every off-site, or I should say on-site job that I do, whether it's in the dirt or in the snow. I don't leave my machines on site. There's just too much risk for vandalism and theft even these days. So I just assume put the extra time in, and I think it would be less expensive for me to move the machine around than to pay the extra insurance. Of course, I could be completely inaccurate. Of course, then again, everything I do is side job work, right? So if this was my actual daily business, operating these machines, then obviously at that point it would be totally inaccurate. Yeah, it would probably prove to be way more cost effective to be able to truck your machines to the site and leave it there until the project's completed. So I'm going to get my hands freed up so I can get you down off the top of the machine along with me, and be back in 2 seconds. I'm gonna leave the camera on just in case I fall. It'd be maybe a good, you know, YouTube fail video or something. Yeah, I know. You're all bent out of shape. No YouTube fail video yet. Maybe not today. We'll have to see. So actually, while I'm crawling down into the cab of this machine with you guys, you see my beacon light there. I got that from Trucker Track also. And yeah, those guys take good care of me. I really enjoy doing business with them. I got the information from one of the YouTube channels that I follow regularly, and I will probably mention it in a later video. I'm still kind of one-eyeing through all the YouTube do's and don'ts, and I just want to make sure I'm allowed to mention some of the other YouTube channels that I subscribe to in my videos. That way I don't get anybody mad at me, so, or in trouble for that matter. All right, I'm gonna see if I can back down into this machine without clobbering my head and messing anything up. You shush. So what am I sitting on? I'm sitting on scissors. That would have been terrible. This seat is like not comfortable. Well, I shouldn't say it's not comfortable. It's not an air ride or a suspension seat, but this would have been the beginning of the end for this seat. You know how that is, a tractor seat, anything like that. Once you get a hole or a split in it, she gone. No mo. So, I goof around with this here. It's probably easier for me to move the mount on the tripod than it is to actually monkey with getting this phone off of the mount. And just give me a minute here. I got, for some reason, the flip-flop thing, I don't know if I'm not doing something right or what, but I gotta stop the camera to flip you guys around so you can see it. Just give me a minute. All right, there it is. So it's a I believe it's a 7-inch monitor. And matter of fact, while I'm in here, I'm gonna see if what I did made a difference. And oh yeah, holy moly, man, that I can't believe how well that worked. Wow. Okay, so any of you guys and gals on YouTube that are out there doing, you know, little upfits like this to your equipment, this is a possibility for you guys to try out and see if you can get some of that rattle out of your ride. That's pretty awesome. Cool. I'm really happy with that. Now let's fire this thing up, and I'm gonna turn the fan off. Fire this thing up and see if the vibration goes away. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? This thing's pretty clear. At night, I can see really well. I mean, I know that might be kind of like a Captain Obvious thing to say, considering that, you know, a lot of the people that are watching this probably already know that most of these things are designed to have night vision. But you know, it's something you know, that I think we kind of all can agree. It's very nice to have this ability to see behind you. Now your peripheral vision out the side of your machine can just be your peripheral vision for the most part. Now, I'm not by any means saying don't turn around often and look, but that reassurance in that monitor, boy, that makes me super happy, especially around here on the farm. You know, you got our dogs running around, you got boarders around, and of course, you know, everybody's walking around with their cell phone in their hand, whatever out of the corner of your left eye, and then, you know, you turn around and all of a sudden they're in the right corner of your right eye, you know, and you won't know it until it's too late. So just got to keep your head on a swivel on these things, especially skid steers. My God, skid steers. First time I got in one, what a very how can I say, I don't want to say out of control, but it's like forced tunnel vision, you know. And my big tractor, and I say big, you know, it was still, I guess, considered a compact. It was a 55 horse Mahindra with an enclosed cab. But I mean, that thing, I mean, that was like sitting up in a light tower. You could see everything. Until you were using the snow blower in the snow. And that snow blows back on the cab. It don't matter how much heat you got cranking in that thing. It freezes up for a moment before it slides back down. It gives you some vision there. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, you can see everything. And this machine, I mean, you got all kinds of obstructions, blind spots, and then you got moving obstacles, you know, which is always fun. So I'm gonna see, get the hydraulics activated there. Stop flashing, right? And idle up a little bit. That's not like any sort of glitch with this monitor. That's actually the yellow paint on the tail end of my machine. I had it angled down just enough. I tried angling it a little bit more, but there's like a glare shield on the top of the camera. I think it's like I think it provides a little bit of glare protection for the monitor, and also some drift protection from any snow. Instead of it laying on top of the camera, it'll lay down. It'll lay down on top of this roof, and just kind of as it melts, just slide off and stay away from the camera, which I think is great. So, but all right, well, all right. Well, I'm gonna have to stop the camera right here. I've got a phone call I got to take, and I'll be with you guys in a moment. Taken care of, and I'm gonna walk over here. I'm gonna try again. I actually tried to make a video on this Frankenplow that I built for the originally the project was for my old tractor, and it was, I guess, 50% completed during its first couple years of its life, but now it's I'd say 75% completed. So I got some wet lines hooked up to it finally, and crossover pressure release valve, and also some flow reducers, because boy oh boy, that thing wanted to send that sucker right off the front of the skid steer when I hit the switch. So I had to greatly reduce the amount of flow. So I'm over here. This was a Snowway plow. I bought it brand new, and it left me stranded literally the very next snow season. Spent, like $5,000 on it, and it immediately failed. Not mechanically, just electronics, crappy electronics. And then they wouldn't even make good for it. I called them, and they pretty much gave me the old tough boogies thing. This is how much it's going to cost to buy more stuff. So I'm going to flip this camera around here so you can actually see the implement, and I can see that you're seeing it, because I tried the last time just flipping the camera around, yeah, you were seeing everything that I wasn't talking about. So just give me a minute. All right, here we are. So basically all I did was I just bought one of those Skidsteer quick attach plates, a blank one, and this down here, this bracket down here, was actually a factory mounting frame for the actual plow. And right here, this was a mounting tab with mounting holes that actually extended that way probably another, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches on both sides. And what I did was I had the snowplow frame on my wife's truck, and my concern was that if I took it off the truck and I modified it to fit on this plate, I would end up in a situation where my tractor, having another EGR problem, would leave me stranded, and then I would have no way to plow in a pinch. So what I did was I ordered another one of those brackets. I left the one on my wife's truck, and when I got the bracket, I used a plasma torch. I cut the tabs off on both sides so I can mount it flush to the plate here, and then I just burned it on there. So that way I can detach it from the plate. If I really wanted to, I could make, if I wanted to make like a custom implement, say like a pole, I guess a jib pole for picking, that mounted into those tabs for the plow. If I was able to custom make it so that it adapted to that, I could literally use this plate for multiple things. Of course, that was more so the case before I put all this plumbing on here. So it might not even be worth, entertaining that idea anymore. So, you got the light tower brackets here. Obviously, they're not of any use with the skid steer. This is the part that failed, this electronic board. I don't know. They said they fixed the problem, and all I had to do was buy the new one. And it's easy to say all you got to do is, but when the new electronic part at the time when it came back out was like almost $800, because it was the controller, the circuit board, all kinds of other solenoids and crap. So I said no, I'll make it better on my own. So I was able to keep the foot, so that I can detach this thing on at least when the ground's frozen, and on a block maybe, so that this plate can stay up off the ground. Right now, picking it up off the ground is doable, but it's a little bit of a pain. So this here, okay, this tube, okay, this hose, is from this hydraulic system where the pump and all the valving and everything was. That valve, I pilfered this hose here, because down under these leads is a hydraulic cylinder. It's a very short cylinder, but it's a very stout cylinder. And I almost pulled this whole thing out and put, a solid, square tube or, round tube brace in there, you know, basically to just make it one piece, not allow the plow to float anymore, just made it rigid. But while I was limping this thing around, I noticed that the hydraulic pressure in that, when the pump wasn't working, I was able to lift this plow up off the ground with the loader of my tractor and push snow around, and that cylinder never seemed to leak a drop. It never seemed to, you know, sag or anything. So what I thought would be at least a good thing to try was, I want this thing to float with any undulations, okay, on the surfaces that I'm plowing, because I you know, I go off into the grass and into the fields and stuff like that, from pasture gate to pasture gate, and you know, I'm sure you can imagine there's a lot of things to, you know, snag or, you know, dig down into, because if you don't have a bad float type of situation. So to create float, what I did was I took a little bit of fluid out of this cylinder, and just a little bit, very, very little bit. I actually had to put a little bit more back in because I gave it too much fluctuation. But this tube here, okay, allows fluid transfer. Now, when I say fluid, I mean a combination of both air and liquid, okay, because fluid is actually kind of like it's a word that, you know, explains two things, air and or liquid. So it kind of allows like an air cushion here, and it allows that cylinder to float only a certain percentage. So when I pick it up, this blade it continues to stay on the ground only for a little bit, and then at one point, once that air and liquid in there is compressed and it can't compress anymore, it allows the plow to lift up off the ground. So so far it seems to be working out. Now, I haven't actually put it through a season, but I did put the plow feet on, and I went, you know, up and down the driveway and on up, you know, and over, you know, obstructions and undulations in the ground, and it seems to have done everything that I hoped it would. We'll just have to see, you know, what it's like once you start really abusing it. So we'll have to see. It would be really cool if it turned out to work really well, because I mean, there's a lot of things I can do to this in the future to just clean it up, make it better. Right now, it's going through its R&D phase, so to speak. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, the only thing about this plow that could make it better is if it had a trip edge rather than the whole mold board with the trip springs. It does make it a little bit more vulnerable to, you know, the mold bore slapping down on the ground. You know, sometimes I wish it was a trip edge where it could just kind of hop over, you know, obstructions and, you know, seams in the pavement and stuff. But you know, so far so good. I mean, I've had the thing for, God, oh man, must be 7 years now, and I'm still on the same cutting edge. You know, of course, like I said, a lot of what I do is gravel and frozen ground. That brown that you see on there is actually just it's just schmutz. It's spray up from I don't even know what from, to be honest with you. Where the heck, why is that sprayed up on there? It's literally just dirt. It's like sand kind of dirt. That's interesting. I don't know why the heck it's like that, but pretty much almost all the paint is on the mold board too. So that's pretty cool, considering how much gravel I pushed with that thing. You'd think that it would have been in much worse shape. But so that's you'll be seeing some content, I'm sure, with me either loving that thing or cussing and swearing at it. I might have to get my editing skills up so I can press that beep button. So anywho, so here we are, and just hanging out. There's my truck. That's my rig. That's what I haul most of my stuff with. That's a 35-foot Diamond C trailer, and I got got it on a Ram. I guess they call it a chassis cab or cab chassis, whatever you want to call it. And I haul these HVAC units a lot. Past 11 years, God, I can't count how many of these things I've probably hauled almost on a daily basis, but I haul other things. I prefer to haul, you know, light and medium duty construction and farm equipment. That's really what I love to do. But you know, it's work just doesn't come falling on your lap. It might be a little bit more true with the trucking thing because I've been doing it for so long, but getting side work for these machines, you know, unless somebody knows you're good for the work, you know, nobody's just gonna hire you to come in your yard and make it look like a blasting site. So but I think that's gonna be it for today, guys. Really don't have much more on the list. I know my stepdaughter's coming over. I gotta go out with her out to town, help her get a couple things from a place that she ordered some stuff from. And tomorrow there's a good chance I might be doing some fencing work down along this fence here. Not the one where the bicycle's leaning up against, but the one, you see the horse out there with the green blanket, the fence to the left of that horse that goes all the way down the right side of the driveway. My folks, while I was out on the road, they had me tear out all those planks and the posts, and they put in new while I was gone, but they used a post hole digger on the tractor. And I guess the spud bar work that they did initially just wasn't enough, and then we had so much rain this year, and of course it goes basically just cruising down the pasture here, and basically all directions in sheets, and it was literally just saturating the base of all the posts. And of course the wind was, oddly enough, usually it's going that way, but it was coming kind of up this way. I guess off the coast the storm was rotating, I guess, I don't know, counterclockwise or something, but it was coming back in and it was blowing the fence this way. So now that whole pasture fence is just kind of leaning in. It's probably leaning about 3 inches almost all the way from top to bottom, all the way down. So we might be bringing some leftover gravel and maybe some rocks and whatever, and just out there with the spud bar tomorrow, just kind of getting those things back where they should be and all tamped in. So you guys might see some of that going on. I might do like a time-lapse video of that. So other than that, you know, we'll have to see what else I can come up with. I'm sure there's something. If you guys are interested in it or not, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. So if you like the content, you know, just if you could like, comment, subscribe, it'd help me a lot on this end, you know, to know whether or not, you know, the time that I'm putting into it, you know, proves to be worth it. You know, I gotta tell you, strangely enough, for some reason I enjoy talking to myself with a camera. So I might just keep on doing it anyway. But thanks again, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.